Noises are working and we're here. Oh, hi guys, and welcome to the Down the Local FC. We're back again. Guess who's back? Back again. Sean and
Again.
Neil to chat some shit. Hello,
When a
welcome everyone
friend.
to the to the Down the Local FC. FC standing for football chat for those who are here for the first time. Uh,
Hmm.
Neil, how are you doing, my friend? You good? Buzzing for another show?
Yeah, I'm all right. I am buzzing for a different show. A
Very
little bit
different show.
different to what we've done the last few times, isn't it? Yeah.
Very different,
But it'll be
actually.
good. Good.
Be very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the first time doing anything like this. Kind of running some highlights and doing because I mean you've done a PES simulation for the semi-finals. We didn't do it for the quarterfinals, did we?
Yes.
So
No, we just talked through the games then, didn't we? And made a decision on who we thought would go through. But then we thought, let's give it a whirl,
let's
see
go
what we
out.
can do. And after multiple faffing around today, managed to get the streams saved, uploaded, transferred, and then sent to you.
That
Why I can't just send them in the first place, I have no idea. But what a faff! But it's done.
It's done. It's done.
It's done.
So we'll talk about that in a second. But obviously, a big hello to everyone who's
We
watching on
will.
Facebook and on Twitch. Hey Dark Knight. Hey Karen. Both looking good this evening. Neil, check that out. Both looking good, mate.
Oh, Karen.
Oh shucks. Done my hair and everything. What's left of it? Yeah. Werner to Chelsea. I thought you was going to say Wenger to Chelsea for a minute, and I was like, really? That'd be a
What?
turn up. Werner to Chelsea. There was big
Well, I
rumours that
you
today
know
that
what?
popped up, didn't it?
Well, I've seen a lot of people that I know who are Liverpool fans saying if Liverpool don't sign Werner, then they made a huge mistake. So I'm guessing that's come from that. I've not really seen anything to do with the football today until literally 5 minutes ago when we started talking.
Yeah.
But Werner to Chelsea, definitely unexpected.
Yeah. But
Definitely
I don't know
unexpected.
what the background is on that one, but I think that they were looking at activating his because he's got a buyout clause that expires in the next 5 days, 7 days, something like that.
Right. Okay. So that would be that they'd be buying him ready for the so essentially a Ziyech side signing.
What
Pay
kind of
out
just
the
getting
money
him just yeah.
now and then get him ready for this and then have him in the summer. Okay.
But yeah, I
Okay.
don't know. I don't know about Werner going to Chelsea. Where do you think he'd fit in?
They play wide
You reckon?
again. I think he'd play. Or they may. You never know. Lampard may even go two up top. I can't see it, but you never know. Depends
Be a
if
strange
Willian
one.
ends up going. If Willian ends up going and um,
Mm.
Hudson Odoi ends up doing a little bit of bad, another one.
Yeah, again.
Um, yeah. Uh, then you could see him sort of coming inside, almost sort of Hazard style.
True. I think, as I say, watching some of what he
Yeah,
does at RB Leipzig, I think that's kind of his best position is playing as a kind of inside forward
I
from the
do.
left hand side.
Yeah, yeah, cutting inside, where he's the pressure is essentially he knows he's there as the main goal scorer, but the pressure's not on him to be the person who's got to create all the chances as well.
Yeah, which, as you
It's a
say, that
bit
kind of.
a bit like Messi,
Mm.
yeah, where you just get that opportunity to sort of float around, drift around in a certain sort of spatial area, get involved in everything else going on, and then strike.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's what like Lionel's sort of doing now. I think he's got a bit more of a free roam in that Barca
Yeah,
side to kind of just play his game. I don't, you know, I think that's always been the thing with Lionel is he's never really had any responsibility, so to speak, other than just stick the ball in the back of the net. But
yeah,
now more so than ever, I
yeah,
think he's just kind of dictating where he's allowed to play and be as effective as he believes he can be within that side. And it seems to be working. He's due to win
yeah.
the top goal scorer for the league, isn't he, for the seventh year in a row?
Something like that.
I
Yeah.
read today.
Well, he's got no major competition now, has he?
No, now well Ronnie's gone, so
Uh huh.
Benzema's
Yeah.
not doing the business.
Until someone, no, until someone crops up. Well, the problem is at Real you'll have three players score 20 goals,
Yeah,
whereas at Barca you'll have two score 15 and one score 30. So
yeah,
they'll end up with the same goals at the end of the season, but one person takes the plaudits for it.
yeah.
every so often they'll have a season where all of them bag a shed load.
Mm.
But you don't see goals coming from their midfield on a regular basis, do you? You get goals all over the pitch from Real.
Yeah, I was going to say. I mean, that's the one thing with Barca, but I mean, maybe that's where they've got it right. Whereas, I think Real Madrid maybe they've kind of had to rely on other positions to score goals. Whereas in Barca, they've obviously they've got their front players and their job is to score goals. Midfield's job is to feed the strikers.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the defence has always kind of been like an auxiliary to both of those, really, hasn't it?
yeah. I think also you watch the Barcelona when everyone talks about the tiki taka and the movements and all that sort of thing.
Mm.
Oh, the old man's in
Yeah,
and following.
joining
Look
us
at
on Facebook. Thanks for joining, Dennis. It's great to have you here, man.
that. Yeah. So when you look at Barcelona and you talk about the tiki taka and things like that, you watch their functions of play where they move up the pitch, and very rarely did you see old school. I suppose you saw like Danny Alves would bomb on and he'd play a couple of 1-2s and get further up the pitch.
Mm.
But you watch a lot of their play and it's in triangles to a point, and then another group of players in the next set of positions take over the triangle and move forward again. And
Yeah,
then it hits the front guys who play the triangles and they move forward. So
yeah,
you've not got that major interaction of different positions.
mm.
So it formulates a sort of setup, doesn't it? Which is where, neither of us like Busquets
No,
as a player and as
don't
a
rate him
person
whatsoever.
in the way he
Yeah,
conducts himself on the pitch. Yeah, but you see where his benefit is because he drops in and he creates that triangle,
yeah,
the first point
yeah,
of the triangle for the two centre backs, and then moves it into the midfield, and he's the base of the triangle for there.
mm.
And then will also crop up in one of the two centre midfield positions, so he can then become the third section. So he creates such a dynamic for them to move forward, but he's never playing any more than a 5-10 yard pass,
Mm.
and then he'll fall over and cry if he loses the ball.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean
but
that's
that you
always
can
been
see
the
that's
kind of
where the benefit is, isn't it?
yeah, that's always been the thing I think both me and you have had with Busquets is that he's a bang average footballer at best. The play acting is something that I detest, not only in football
Yeah,
but just especially for some reason it just seems to manifest itself in La Liga and in Serie A. Well, I mean Serie A is a bit more theatrical. It's actually like
yeah.
pantomime. It's quite funny, but just with Busquets. I don't know. I look at that Barca side and I think what a fantastic, well-oiled machine that is. You just said about the triangles and stuff. What they do there is fantastic in regards to that. If they had a much more able footballer playing in that position, can you imagine how much better that midfield would be? Or is that me
No,
discrediting Busquets too much?
I don't think though. The one, so when we say about the play acting from Busquets, what annoys me is he'll kick someone and then fall over crying that he's been kicked.
And for some reason, it
That's what
always goes
winds
his
me
way
up.
as well. What's that about?
It does because he plays for Barcelona.
Thank you for the
It's the
host,
same
man.
as when teams are when teams are on top in the Premier League, you see it as well. Things go their way a little bit more. They get the rub of the green,
Mm.
but I think with the Busquets thing, the one element of his game that is fantastic is his positioning, his positional awareness and everything else. He picks up the right places. He knows when to move. He knows when to stick. I think if you got a much better footballer in there and you limited them to just doing that sort of thing,
Mm.
that would take away from it. You know, we sort of laugh about how he kept Yaya Toure out of the team.
Yeah,
But then you see Toure at Man City, he didn't want to sit back and defend. He wanted to be able to move the ball forward and progress and keep going and get on
yeah,
the end of things. Busquets, because he's got no desire to be that high up the pitch. So actually, from that type of play, it works for him.
yeah.
If someone went in there, if a manager went in there and wanted to play a more expansive brand of football, Busquets is stuffed
Mm.
because he can't do that.
Yeah, but in the same token, I still think you could get a footballer that could do that job just as well, if not better, than Busquets, and actually bring something more to the side.
I think you could. I think it's the problem is you would be within reason. You'd be cutting off an element of what that player could bring in addition.
Yeah.
Even people like, I mean, we talk about Kante being a
Mm.
fantastic defensive midfielder.
Mm.
You watch him at Chelsea; he doesn't just sit; he will go forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only person I can think of currently playing as a centre midfielder who would be able to take the role of Busquets is another player that I don't think me and you really rate, and that's Jorginho
Yeah,
at Chelsea.
yeah, yeah. No, I'd agree. Yeah, no, I
And
don't rate him
and
very highly at all,
no,
but
but he does exactly the same job.
yeah, 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 he does, as you say.
And I
But
think
I mean, that's where I don't know. To me, that even bringing in Jorginho instead of Busquets would be an upgrade. You'd be getting a better footballer.
yeah, I think so. Yeah,
George, do
I
you
think he's a
think
better
that's why
footballer.
Barca brought Frankie de Jong? I don't know. I mean, what do you think,
No,
Neil? I think he's more of an advanced player.
no. I, I think he's a box to box.
Yeah,
He's Frankie De Jong is in there almost as a Xavi 10 years ago.
yeah,
Until Xavi sort of got beyond 30 and the legs started to go, he was up and down, up and down. He'd drop in, pick the ball up, but then you'd see him in the final pass right at the other end of the pitch. I don't think Frankie De Jong was ever a replacement for Iniesta, even though he kind of came in and replaced him. I
yeah,
think Iniesta's got a lot more about his game, is far more attack minded. Frankie De Jong is an up and down midfielder,
yeah.
old school box to boxer.
Yeah, just going slightly off subject,
But
do we think that Ronaldo will return to Madrid? No, categorically.
no, no.
Got an interesting point to make about
Madrid aren't
Ronaldo,
stupid.
actually, funny enough. I'll let you talk
Yeah.
on, Neil.
So I was going Madrid are rubbing their hands. They know
Yeah.
that they've lost a major player, but they've got the same amount of money and 450 goals out of a guy who's 33 when he left.
I think of all that money
Real
they've made
Madrid,
in T-shirt
the only-
sales and sponsorship deals,
Exactly.
and players, top class
And
players
winning
wanting
that
to come
amount
and
of
play with
Champions
Cristiano,
Leagues.
and yeah, they've certainly got their money's worth and a bit of profit on top for Cristiano.
Yeah.
So and why would Cristiano want to go back?
It
Why
was-
would, what has he got to gain as a footballer?
No, and I think the only way you could ever see Ronaldo going back is if he decided that he wanted to become president of the club or something
Yeah.
like that. I don't think you'd ever see him back as a player, and I don't see him. Do I see him as a manager? I don't know. I don't think he'd ever be a coach. I think he'd want too much say.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I don't ever see him as a manager, but then actually I'm thinking back to when he came off for Portugal at the Euros injured, and he
Yeah.
was stood on the touchline directing play far much more than the manager.
yeah. Yeah, totally agree. To save Real? No, I don't think he'd be saving Real by going back there. I really don't. I don't think, as I say, I don't think Real Madrid got anything to gain from that. I don't think Cristiano Ronaldo's got anything to gain from that, most importantly, because ultimately he's only going to do. I mean, this is Cristiano Ronaldo, the player that wants to be the best in the world. So, what has he got to gain from going back to that club? He is still,
Yeah, and
I mean, like I say, I wanted to talk about Chris. In that it was reported this week he returned back to training for Juventus, and he returned back fitter than what he did when he arrived in the summer for pre-season.
right,
He's so
I suppose that
prior to COVID, prior to all of this, he's still improving his fitness. He's still working. While me and Neil, for certain, are sitting here, expanding our waistbands. So, he's, it just shows that man, he just doesn't relent in any way. He does not stop. Just doesn't stop.
yeah, I think it's a little bit different now because nobody knows when they were due to go back and start playing again. And equally when they were going to be allowed to train and when the season would start again.
Yeah.
So all players to an extent have got to keep themselves fitter. They know when the season ends, they can, within reason, enjoy themselves.
Yeah.
Because they're going to have 2 months of solid training before they are expected to kick a ball in any kind of competitive fixture.
Yeah.
I think where who was it who said was it Law said to save Real don't need saving.
No.
They finished third in La Liga while Ronaldo was there. They won La Liga when Ronaldo was there. They came second. Nothing's different this season. Nothing will be different next season. The top three will be the top three.
Yeah.
all that will happen is Real Madrid will go and spend a stupid amount of money and sign someone. They've got a couple of youngsters already there who are in the B team at the moment who look like they could be unreal moving forward.
Yeah, cool. We'll come on to those in a minute.
Yep.
Okay, just quickly, just to do a bit of stream gardening. I just wanted to say thank you to Matt for the host, thank you to VR Dark Knight
Yep.
for the host, and also I didn't get a chance to say thank you for this earlier on, which was thank you for the donation from Cameron Clark of $25.21. So I just want to say a massive thank you for that. Big shout out to
Are we?
Dennis Bajami for popping up in the chat.
Yeah, Pops.
Sup,
Pops
Pops?
is in on the ball. So
He's on the ball.
I'm guessing someone else has typed that for him.
Ah, good. It's good to have him here.
Uh,
I'm glad he's been able to make it
it
in for a
is.
stream. That's great.
It is. He's been on a few, but he's been on Facebook and he's been on Twitch and he's been on the links and things like that. But I got very concerned the other day because I had a friend request from him and I had to phone up home to make sure that their internet hadn't been hacked. Because I was like, he hasn't set up a Facebook account, surely. so that lightened up my weekend quite heavily.
Oh, fantastic. No, it's great to have him on here.
Yes.
And great to have you
Indeed,
all on
yeah.
here as well. I'm not ignoring the chat. It's very hard to do this show and pay attention to the chat all the time. As you can see, we get into deep subjects and we start kind of going on this bit of a path. So guys, don't we're not ignoring you in any way. We will come back to you as much as we can, but we try and run with subjects we've got, especially tonight as well. We've obviously got a big thing to build up to with our Fantasy Champions League final. So I want to try and debate as much as possible. I think we might have to overlook the football index thing for now. I just want to play that. Maybe we'll put that in at the end of the show.
Yeah, we'll see where we get to. Yeah.
If that's okay, because
yeah, of course, yeah, we'll see where we're at. Yeah, of course.
Obviously, there's some things. I mean, based around that as well. So you were saying about the Real Madrid B team. Who are the players that are catching your eye in that now?
So you've got obviously everyone knows Vinicius. Is it Vinicius Junior?
Vinicius Junior. Yeah.
Vinicius Junior. There we go. Yeah, so everyone knows him. He came over and got straight into the team within reason and progressed. Well done, old man. This
What's
is the real
boy?
me. Yeah.
Will the real old man please stand up?
So the
I'm not sure of subject there.
He came in and you did. I completely.
Sorry about that, mate.
Train of thought. So he came over and Rodrigo came over from Brazil as well at the same time. Both similar age, both left wingers, and Vinicius Junior got straight in the team, and he progressed and looked like he was going to be the next big thing.
Yeah.
Rodrigo's had to wait for his chance and sat in the under 18s to start with, and is now in the Real B team. But to all intents and purposes, the reports in Spain are saying that he looks like he could be longer term the real deal. And he looks like he could be the one who takes that next step up and really pushes forward.
Yeah. Have you seen either of them play for the first team at all?
I've seen a few bits of Vinicius Junior when he first got into the team. And he looked devastating. He looked very quick, very direct, quite strong. He's only like 19 now, 19, maybe 20.
Yeah, 19, I think. I think Rodrigo's about the same age as well.
Rodrigo, I think, is about a year younger.
Okay.
But both look really good to start with. Rodrigo's had fleeting appearances, nowhere near to the same.
I thought he was going to say he's got fleas.
Exposure. He might have. You get loads of stuff in the favelas, don't you? So
as long as you ain't got corona. It's not got Jesus.
No, we'll come on to that in a minute. Exactly. I was going to say, I saw someone put Jesus Karen. I was going to say, no, surely Jesus Corona. But we'll get on to him in a bit. So yeah, they both look very similar, but they think that the talk is that Rodrigo is going to be the one who really kicks on, and Vinicius may well be another one of these youngsters who goes in at Real, looks really good for a year or two as a youngster, and then progresses and just pitters around a little bit. I don't think that happens so much now, but you had players like Javier Portillo a few years ago and various other ones like that.
Who's the one who ended up at QPR?
Esteban
Esteban.
Granero.
Yeah, I mean, he looked really good at one point, and then he went to QPR, and that was it, really.
Yeah, and that was bizarre
That was
because
bizarre.
he was in the Real team at the time. He was
Yeah,
in the Real team,
yeah,
so it wasn't even like he was struggling for playtime.
yeah,
But you also have people like Etu, who was I've gone big.
yeah.
I keep
Bloody hell.
jumping, man.
I know.
It's
This is the
like
most jumping you've
like
done for a
quantum
long
leap.
time, Neil. Hey, yay,
Yeah,
yay.
it's the only jumping I've done. um, but the uh,
Put you off,
yes,
didn't
you've
it?
done it again. I lost it, man.
Sorry,
Yeah,
mate.
you did. You
I
did.
don't know what goes on with that.
Samuel Eto'o is a prime example. Was at Real Madrid, didn't really make it,
Mm.
went off, and then ended up being a star player for Barca, star player for Inter. Went to Chelsea where he looked good for a little while, and then ended up in Russia. By the time he was ready to retire.
I was gonna say, given his age and everything, I think what he done in England was fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. No, Karen, my beers did not come. Not yet. I've
He
had a
just,
very nice email though, personalised.
I was say, guys, can we please stop,
Personal.
baiting Neil on his beers? I think
I had to
it's
go
really
to
cutting deep with him.
it is. I had to go to the Fat Cat and buy these Mahirs. They're nice. It was nice. Big
Well,
jug
thanks
of
for
it.
picking me up, son, mate.
4 pints
Cheers,
and
thank you.
well, we were limited.
Oh well. Cool.
I did. I
Welcome,
told you we
Coop.
were
Glad
there.
you can make it, man. Vinicius Junior came on
Cool.
and scored against Barca just before lockdown. He looks like he will be a player. I think, yeah. I mean, Vinicius
Yeah.
Junior. The thing is you quite rightly say, Neil. They're both a very similar style of football. They are
Yeah.
both very tricky, very quick, skillful. Did can someone in the chat just correct me or not? Was it Vinicius Junior who picked up an injury before early this season? He picked up quite a nasty injury, or was that
Yeah,
Rodrigo?
he did pick. Yeah.
See you later, Dark Knight.
No,
Thanks
no.
again for the post.
Vinicius. Cool.
Yep.
See ya. Yeah. He
I can't remember which one it was.
he
It
did
might
pick
be
up an
Vinicius.
injury earlier in the season. Yeah, I'm sure it was. It was earlier in the season. He was out for a month, 2 months, something like that. But he was very much. I think it's going to come to a point where they will end up with one of them on one side and one of them on the other.
Yeah, I think so.
And I think they'll look at whoever, because they're both left-footed. They're going to look at whoever is the most potent striker, and they'll play them on the opposite side, and have a winger and a striker, or a winger and a forward, and then a centre forward. But it spells the end for Gareth Bale if it wasn't already put out. It's definitely coming now.
Yeah, interestingly, a very quick. I was just going to try and look and see if it was Vinicius Junior who, because if memory serves me correctly, it was. I thought it was like a ligament injury or something like that, similar to Dembele. But just a real quick Google. It's not brought anything up, but some of the top stories on Google is that Liverpool have apparently made contact with his agent.
Interesting.
But do you know? I mean, there's so many
But
of these
that then
silly
shows if
companies.
Real, yeah. But that then shows if that is something that happens, that shows where Real's priorities are.
Yeah.
Because Real don't let their star player go unless they're going to get something ridiculous for it.
Yeah.
And even then, they tend not to. So
I mean, what have they got to gain by letting him go? I don't get that.
True. But if they've got someone they think is better in the wings, what have they got to keep? What do they gain from keeping him? You end up with one unhappy player out of two.
Still got Gareth Bale
Because
there.
they're not going to be playing all the time. Yeah, but he'll be gone. He's not going to stick
You
around
reckon?
for long. His contract's his contract's up at the end of next season.
Oh,
think,
they
isn't
ain't
it?
going to offer him a new
2020?
one, are they?
No, they can't wait for him to go. 600 grand a week. What? Why would they want to keep him? But the other one that's in the youth setup or the B team there now is Renier. He looks quality.
Oh, is he
Another young Brazilian?
Yeah, they bring him in,
attacking
bring him over
midfielder,
soon,
centre
didn't they?
midfielder. Sorry.
They signed him. Was that beginning of the season or only signed him recently?
They
Didn't
signed
they?
him 2 years ago, but
Oh, did they?
yeah, he came over. They signed him 2 years ago, but I think he came over in the summer. But yeah, he's 18, and in Brazil they don't allow players to leave, do they, until they're 18, until they turn 18.
Yeah, because they obviously Barcelona had to wait quite a long time to sign Neymar, didn't they? They've been tracking him for a long time. I think Neymar
did.
wanted to go there, but
Yeah.
and then there was a bit of a furor when he did finally sign. So Matt,
Yeah,
welcome to the
which is
stream.
why
Maybe a
I think
buyback clause instead. On Vinicius Junior, I assume you're talking. Do you think that they would seriously let him
yeah,
go to Liverpool though, even with a buyback clause?
if they let him go, they're not going to put a buyback clause in there. I don't see. I can't imagine Liverpool would go for it because the buyback clause is almost like a. Um, Neil looks comfy. Sorry, comfy with his nectar anyway. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's like we'll go with it's an amber nectar, but it's not a Foster's. 100%
Yeah,
not
it's
a
not. Yeah,
Foster's.
not
Um,
Foster's. This is a not
this
Foster
stuff.
zone.
This is probably no, probably double the strength of Foster's. To be fair, I only need one. So yeah, I think there's no point in putting a buyback clause in because the buyback clause then works almost like a minimum release clause
Yeah.
in some situations where they say, do you know what? Yeah, we want him back. Here's the money that we put in the contract, and Liverpool have no say over it. So there's no benefit to that. The buyback clause would be so huge that it wouldn't happen. They may have a first dibs on him if Liverpool decide to offload him,
Mm.
but if it wouldn't surprise me if he goes there and Mane goes the other way.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I mean that could be talked
If
about.
Mane is still talking, yeah, if Mane's still saying about these options come up and you don't turn them down,
Mm. He was going to be one of the
you
people I
never
wanted to
know.
bring up on Football Index because he's floating around about the £2.90 mark, which I think is really good value for
Okay,
Sadio Mane. Considering
yeah,
when the season does restart, I think he's obviously going to have they're inevitably going to win the title, so he's going to have media mentions. And there
yeah,
still seems to be talk of him moving on, and I think he will. I mean, if Liverpool win the league, he's won the Champions League with Liverpool, he's won the league with Liverpool. Why
yeah,
not go on and achieve something else elsewhere? You know?
yeah. I think I think one of the issues with Mane on there is he's what now 28,
Yeah, 28,
so he
29.
knows,
Yeah,
so he knows that he's got that one big move,
yeah, precisely.
and if it comes about, he's going to be a fool to knock it back. I
Yeah,
mean, if it's Real Madrid, the only two teams that have really been mentioned of interest to him or of interest in him have been Barca and Real,
mm.
which is bizarre. You've not had big clubs mentioned. It's only those two.
Yeah. I mean, I'd
So
have thought there'd be more. You know, you seem as though at the minute Inter Milan and Juventus are linked with anyone. As soon as anyone gets linked, Inter Milan
yeah,
and Juventus are circling around them as well. It's been the same with Timo Werner, Harry Kane.
yeah,
Who was the
yeah,
other person that popped up the other day that Juventus got linked with? Um, you know, any time that one of these big names, someone like that, Sadio Mane, becomes talked about, then those teams tend to gather a bit of traction, and all of a sudden you get this sort of media bubble around that player. But as you say, it's only really Barcelona and Real Madrid in this instance. So if either one of those was to come in,
yeah,
he'd be absolutely daft to turn it away. I think, as you say, at his point in his career.
yeah. Oh, definitely. And I think it would be a case of I think they could get him for less than Liverpool would want to sell him for.
Yeah.
Because I think if they came in and made an offer, he would go. If Liverpool turned it down, he'd go and say, "Look, I don't want to force a move, but
Mm. Yeah, I've achieved what I wanted to achieve. I'd like to, I'd
yeah,
like to move on, and I think that they would give him grace and say, I mean, especially if they get Timo Werner, if he goes to Liverpool,
yes."
then I think it's almost odds on that Mane would leave.
Although you say that, it'd be interesting to see if the Vinicius Junior is down to uh, Werner being linked elsewhere.
True.
So the links there are in a backup to the fact that Werner could be not going to Liverpool.
Do you think that Werner is gonna? Where
It's
do you think
interesting.
he'll end up? Where do you think, Neil? If you had £5 floating around in your back pocket and you was walking past William Hill, where would you be putting your fiver on where he's going to go?
I don't. I think it would be. I can't see Chelsea signing him.
According to a quick Google search, Chelsea have activated Timo
No,
Werner's
no.
50 million fee, and according to someone
Exactly.
called Matt Law, Timo Werner has agreed to join Chelsea. More to follow, apparently.
50
But
£50 million,
Mm.
literally on the news now. Okay,
Yeah, yeah. So
looks like
that's
Tino's off to
yeah,
Chelsea. If it's a £50 million release clause,
yeah, which is yeah,
no one is telling me that Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juve, Inter, Chelsea, Liverpool, probably Man United,
yeah.
Man City. 50 million is nothing for a
It's
top
nothing.
class player.
Yeah.
So everyone is going to be in there. It's being shouted about
Mm.
that he's going to Chelsea to get everyone else off their ass and
Mm.
start bidding. A
Yeah.
bidding war ensues, and he then has his pick of where he goes.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Mm.
If they kept it all quiet and it wasn't announced that he was going to Chelsea,
Mm.
then you wouldn't see that it's an agent hyping it up.
Yeah.
If he ends up at
Yeah.
Chelsea, if he
Lorenzo
does
just
end up at
said that.
Chelsea, I
Yeah.
would be surprised. Yeah, I if he does end up at Chelsea, I would be surprised. I think he would be a really good fit. I think he would. I think he would be almost
Mm.
that natural fill-in for where Hazard left a year ago,
Yeah.
and fill that gap brilliantly.
Yeah.
But
You got
they've
Christian
been sitting on a
Pulisic there.
cash reserve.
Pulisic
They have.
is finding his feet this season. You got Callum Hudson-Odoi.
Yeah.
Matt, can you deal breaker? Can you enlighten us on Willian's situation? Being a avid Chelsea fan, you're going to know a lot better than both me and Neil, buddy. So I'm not sure what his situation is, whether he is in talks to stay or whether it's pretty much nailed on he is leaving. Um, I 100% agree with you, Neil. I can see Werner being a Willian is off, in my opinion. Neil, you're still on the screen again.
Yeah, go me. It's the badge. It's just taking over where my badge is. Other side, other side. I forgot the mirror image.
Damn it.
Done it
Okay.
again.
Fucking hell. That's my trick. That's thrown me. Sorry. Willian is off, in my opinion. Offered 2 years and wanted 3. Nailed on to join Arsenal or Spurs. Oh, God.
Ooh,
Christ. Talk
really?
about
See, I don't see.
flush your career down the pan. Why not?
I don't. Yeah, I don't see him staying in England. I think.
You think?
I think he'd get. Yeah, I think he'd get a big deal. I think. I think if he's going on a free transfer, and contract's done, I think he'd get a gig at Barca or somewhere like that. He'd fit in brilliantly at Barca,
Yeah.
and he'd happily go there. He loves London. He'd love Barcelona even more. But I
Yeah, I mean,
think
this is where the human aspect comes in, isn't it? If he's got a wife and family in London, do they really want to up sticks and go to Spain and live in Spain? It's an old thing, isn't it? I guess we can only look at this on the basis of what it is, but we don't know on a personal level his situation. If Matt's saying he loves London, then that could possibly be why. It's only those two clubs in the running. But as you say, didn't Barca get linked with him about a year and a half ago? I know Manchester United were linked with him
yeah,
two
it
and a
was.
half
Yeah,
years ago when Mourinho was there. But
yeah. It was last summer. It was last summer. He was linked with Barca, and I think you know what? If he's 31, if he's getting a 3-year deal at Barca, how long is Willian going to play after 3 years? He's not. He's not the sort of player who's going to be able to go on and on and on.
no,
So if he does 3 years and he's in Barcelona, that's where if he likes it, that's where he's basically his next move is where he's going to spend the potentially a big chunk of his life going forward.
yeah, yeah, retirement, isn't it? Yeah,
So yeah, and he's going to get a much better retirement plan at somewhere like Barca. Werner is set to sign 200 grand a week at Chelsea. Liverpool were interested but didn't want to pay his release clause.
in the current
the
climate,
What?
you're just about to win the fucking Premier League, mate. You're about to get an absolute. But unless Liverpool have got something up their sleeve with Sancho, possibly.
I'll tell you what.
As you say, I think I agree with Neil. I think 50 million is an absolute snip in the current market, regardless of what's gone on. Those big clubs, those top
They paid
6
50
clubs.
million for Naby Keita.
Yeah, yeah, they haven't lost that much revenue, have they? Especially
No.
if, as you say,
And
if
if
Mane
Mane
decides to
goes-
go. Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's maybe why Chelsea are stepping it up now and doing it now.
yeah. But I just don't know. say with Werner going to Chelsea, I mean, what do you think about some of the young English players that have come through this season?
I don't think has a major effect on them. To be fair,
No, it will do. Someone's going to miss out.
if I'm honest,
What about Hudson-Odoi?
well,
Werner's going to take his
well,
place.
there's no guarantee he's going to be around to play at the start of the season, is there?
Well, he's coming back from injury. He was back training again, wasn't he? Before COVID.
He also got arrested. There's a chance he may be in prison. You know, there's a lot of ifs and buts there. You've got to cover your back, haven't you?
You said buts.
They can't say, "Oh, he'll get." Yeah. Well, so did he, and that was his issue. But equally, they can't say it doesn't matter. We don't need to buy Werner because we've got Callum, and he'll get off. He'll get off because he might not. They've got to cover themselves.
Abraham will lose out to
Werner.
No, not Abraham. Oh man, that would.
I could see Timo Werner as a centre forward in Spain. I can't see him being the out and out centre forward in England.
Mm. Yeah, I'd agree. I just don't think he's that type of player, Matt. In my opinion, I think he's. I don't know. He's a bit like Carlos Tevez was. You know, a bit of a. I know they use these terms of the false nine and all that shit. I just think that he is the type of player he'd pick up pockets of space, like you were saying about Lionel Messi. But watching Werner play, he's running in the channels. He's out wide. He's putting crosses in. He's playmaking, and then he makes that late run into the box to get on the end of through balls.
Yeah, it was. I think it's almost like that shadow support striker, isn't it? Where you kind of play anywhere behind a main man, and you are the break person. That guy, and I think that's where Tammy Abraham would win his 6'4", quite good in the air. You got someone like Timo Werner constantly running beyond you. Mm. You've got that hold up and that flick through to put him into that space, as opposed to Werner holding it up or only running in the channels. It's a different dynamic. I think I wouldn't be surprised to see Mason Mount miss out a little bit, but then I don't think Mason Mount is as great as everyone says.
I don't rate him as highly.
He's a tidy player.
Yeah,
he's a tidy player, but he's not. I wouldn't go that far.
Neil, come on now, son. Come on. Own up now. Put your personal differences aside.
Oh yeah, well, last season in the Championship, Mason Mount was a better player at Derby than Todd Cantwell was at Norwich, and they won it. And then,
but he was, it's one of his first seasons, mate. It was different. The Championship.
It was so was Mount's.
Nah, he'd been around ages, mate. Mount has.
Mount's a year younger as well, isn't he? He's a year younger as well.
No. You're getting mixed up, mate.
Oh no, sorry, my bad. Mason Mount's 27 and he's had 7 Premier League seasons. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, on loan at Newcastle, wasn't he? Oh no, it's Obafemi Martins. Done it again.
His career at Everton, wasn't it?
Obafemi Martins.
But yeah. Obafemi.
We need to come up with our own legends board of players, and he's got to be on there somewhere. Obafemi Martins.
What, like the cool wall?
Yeah, the cool wall
from old school.
That's what I was thinking of. The cool wall from Top Gear.
Hold on. I have got a magnetic board floating around here. We could definitely do something like that.
Letitia, Obafemi Martins.
Write them down. Well, I think it's people with the most shouts, or and all of our stuff could go up on there, couldn't it? We could have like how old were you really bored?
Yeah. Well, a bit like The Price is Right, but Obafemi Martins.
Yeah. Higher Obafemi Martins, 34. Higher, lower.
Yeah. 33. Higher. 34. Lower.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah. What for that? That's going to be a good game.
I'll see if I could. I'll dig out the magnetic board. All I need to do is get the old strips. I'll see if Jareen can steal some from work. I mean, see if they have any that she can pilfer.
They were throwing some out. I thought I heard the other day.
Yeah, pilfer's not the same as steal.
Don't tell anyone, guys. Secret safe with us.
Well, technically, no, it's fine because she's a director, so technically she part owns them anyway.
Oh, so that's not stealing. Steal away then.
There you go. That's what you do, guys. Become a director and then you don't steal. You take what is rightfully yours.
Mount has played in the Dutch First League on loan at Vitesse. See, Neil? See? Mason Mount, mate. Journeyman. Unlike my mate
Yeah,
Todd.
who couldn't get a game on loan. They wouldn't loan him out.
Who?
No one wanted him.
Todd Cantwell.
Cantwell's been very good. He has been a
He
revelation.
kept him
He's
at the
been
club,
very good this
mate.
season.
He wanted to keep him grounded. He's a Durham boy. He doesn't want to travel far. That's what it is.
Todd Cantwell has been very good this season for Norwich. He has been, I would say, a revelation because I didn't expect it based on where he was at last year, where he looked fleetingly good but very lightweight. He's been much better in the Prem, but he's still in the Prem at a team bottom of the table, not the standout player. Whereas
Who's the
Mount
standout
is
player?
at a team who is fourth? What, Norwich?
Yeah, who do you think?
Buendia, maybe.
Hardly played this season. He played about half the
was
games.
bagging goals at the start of the season.
I reckon
But
Tim
he still
Krul,
stands
mate.
out when he does play. Tim Krul has actually been fantastic. I didn't
Yeah.
see him playing when they signed Ralph Farman.
Yeah.
I did not see Krul playing this season. So, but yeah, I think it's not don't get me started with Grealish, but it's not
No,
the
no,
same as
hey!
Grealish.
You said
Second
Grealish, not me.
box.
Okay, not saying
Second,
it.
no,
Not saying it.
second
Neil, just can
bottom
you
team,
calm
but
down,
he's
please?
by
Put your
far
beer down.
away.
Chill out. Calm down. Just take a deep breath. It's okay. Calm down.
Yeah, he is by far and away the standout player for the team who's second bottom.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, Timu Pukki. I think there's Krul's been fantastic. Campbell's been very good. Emmy Buendia has been very good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of players who have been very good for Norwich without being standout. Mason Mount hasn't been the standout player for Chelsea.
No.
But he's playing for a team that is fourth or fifth in the table.
Yeah.
Or third, wherever they were.
He's surrounded by better players, I think. And players he's played.
He's going to nullify his standout.
Yeah. No, I don't think. Yeah. I could see Mason Mount going to somewhere like Everton and being their key player, but I just don't think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd go with you, Neil. I don't rate Mason Mount as highly as everyone else does. I think there's better alternatives there in that position, as you say. I think Grealish could do a job there. I mean, and by far and away, the best young English player we have that plays as an advanced playmaker is James Maddison. I think.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So I think Mount is always going to be competing with him internationally.
Hold on, what age are we? What age are we cutting this off at when you say young?
I don't know. Raheem Sterling young?
So 24, 25.
Yeah. Because didn't Raheem Sterling win
James
the young?
Maddison is by.
He won the young player last year at the age of 26 or whatever he is.
Yeah. Yeah, 32.
Yeah.
He's not Obafemi.
Oh, you Obafemi in disguise.
He's got a real birth certificate. He's a real boy.
Good old Raheem.
But I mean, then we're sort of saying, you got Grealish, who's 24. There's the problem that people like Mount is always going to seem superior because he's playing for Chelsea.
I wouldn't go that far.
Needs to leave. No, he will, because if Villa and Norwich go down, Cantwell and Grealish, essentially, if they don't leave the clubs, are null and void, because Southgate's already made the stupid shout that he's not going to be picking people in the Championship, even though he kept picking Jack Butland and Mason Mount last year.
Yeah, but that's just... I think that's a fucking bizarre thing to say, full stop, frankly, is that I'm not going to pick a player because he plays in the Championship. You can't have that kind of... idiotic way of looking at players.
You end up.
I don't know. You're going to cause so many problems. So many problems. You think of, as you say, if Grealish, if he does get relegated, he's going to be forced to make a transfer if he wants to be in the England squad. Well, that's not fair. What if he wants to stay at Aston Villa?
Exactly. He's pushed in a position where he knows if he's at Villa in the Championship, that Euro 2021 now, he's not going to be in it, where he could have been in the Euro 2020 squad. Yeah. Because they got relegated, he's now got to look at leaving. He has to.
Yeah, he
He
hasn't got a
doesn't.
choice. I
It's
mean,
almost his
that's
hand is
ridiculous.
forced if he wants to progress.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and I don't know. I just don't
Tom
prescribe to that.
Grealish Daily.
Steady on, Matt.
Ooh,
Come on now. Come on now, boys and girls.
ooh.
We can all get
Poor
along
boy's
here.
booted left, right, and centre. Those little shin pads don't last any time at all.
Yeah.
He's always down Sports Direct picking up a new pair of Sondicos.
Why does he wear him like that? Has anyone told him he looks like a twat?
um, oh yeah, loads of people.
So
Loads of
I
people.
just I don't get that. I mean, Paolo Dybala does the same thing at Juventus, and I think you look a twat. Pull your socks up, son.
Yeah. If he was like Peter Crouch and he was 6'7" and his shin pads look
That's
like
nothing you
that,
can
that's
do,
not
mate.
his fault.
Yeah.
He can't exactly, but don't make them that big.
No,
You
I heard
know,
that Peter Crouch
that's
had to
when
go
you
in
get a
B&Q,
newspaper, you
mate, to
roll
get
it up,
his
shove it down.
shin pads. Go get two
Yeah,
planks of wood.
yeah. Goes out down the. Yeah, I was going to say, goes down the old timber section,
Yeah. Bit of
cuts
two
them
by
up for him.
four. You
Yeah,
say?
cut them to size, my man. Yeah, 2x4. Can you add a bit on the end?
Yeah.
But yeah, just
Um.
yeah. I think it's an awkward one, but yeah, I don't even know how we got round to Mason Mount. Oh, Timo Werner
Timo Werner.
going to Chelsea.
Lorenzo,
Yeah,
sorry, I got.
Chelsea.
Has he got a shitty sponsor deal? Talk about Peter Crouch. Yeah, he's got one with Screwfix.
Yeah. Oh, bless him, Crouchy, legend. Yeah,
Okay, so
I think
okay,
if
Werner going
Werner
to
goes to
Chelsea.
Chelsea, mhm.
Assuming they're going to play one up top with three in behind, Neil, would you agree with that?
Yeah, normally
Um,
three in behind or three up top with one behind. Yeah,
yeah. Who be currently with Werner? What four would you be picking up from?
I'm assuming Willian will be gone. So I would imagine you'd be going Werner, Abraham, uh, Pulisic, and Mount, unless they look at having. I mean, Pulisic could play in behind, and then you'd have Hudson. You could potentially have Hudson-Odoi and Werner, or you could have Werner in behind. But then essentially that almost becomes a 4-4-2.
Ziyech. Thank you, Matt.
Yeah, I think Ziyech will be playing centre midfield.
You don't think he'd be playing as like the number 10?
I think it's a really good position. I also think he's very good wide left.
Yeah.
I think I think Ziyech's one that he's very good in a lot of different roles.
Yeah,
And
anywhere
I
across that
think
front three, really,
at
isn't it?
Chelsea, front three, even as a centre midfielder, he's very good.
Hmm.
He's very good. And I think you'll see he will. One thing, either he's going to be used almost as the fill-in guy for Chelsea, and one week he'll play as a centre forward, then he'll play as a number 10, then he'll play wide right there, centre midfield, and he'll flip and fit in wherever they need him to flit and fit in.
Hmm.
Or you will see him pick up a consistent position and play there on a regular basis. I don't think it's going to be a bit of this and a bit of that. I think Chelsea is signing him. Lampard's signing him with an idea of where he wants him to play.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they
Okay.
sign Werner, that could change it.
Hmm. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see
I
how,
don't think
how it
Lampard
affects
has
things.
huge amounts of. I don't think Lampard has huge amounts of faith in Hudson-Odoi.
Do you think that's based on like a bit of a attitude thing? Obviously, with the whole wanting to move to Bayern, then the obviously issues with sort of contracts. Now he's doing he's been a very naughty boy, so
He's a trickster winger who currently you don't see a regular end product.
don't worry, Matt. You'll get your dab,
And
mate. I'll give you a dab in a little while. Don't worry. Sorry, I just Matt's redeemed a dab, so you'll get a
yeah,
dab in a minute. Don't worry.
I had to.
I don't want to dab while Neil's
Um,
talking. It's a bit rude.
just random.
Yeah, there we go. Dab. Yeah. There you go. There you go. You got your dab. You got one from Neil too. Good lad.
Yeah, you've got. I think you look at all the wingers that were at Chelsea. when Lampard was there.
Yeah.
They worked hard, majority of them. They had an end product. There was goals, there was assists, that sort of thing. I mean, even when you go back to the likes of Damien Duff,
Yeah.
Robin, Sean Wright Phillips,
Robin.
those guys, Robin, those guys, there was a work element and a work ethic,
Yeah.
but they also had an end product. Hudson-Odoi is a very, very skillful player, really good, looks like he could be really good and strong.
Mm.
But at the moment, you're not seeing him. He almost looks like he wants to show pony himself a little bit.
Mm. Yeah, but but that seems to be the common thing with a lot of the young players that seem to be coming through. I mean, Jadon Sancho, I saw him talking the other day, obviously on the build up to Borussia Dortmund's game, and he said he was a huge Ronaldinho fan. And for him growing up,
Yeah.
he just wanted to go onto a football pitch and just skill people. I think he used those exact words. He goes, "That's all I wanted to do." He goes, "I didn't really care about scoring goals and stuff. I just wanted to go on and do mad skills." The mad skills is something
Yeah.
young kids say nowadays, Neil. I learned from watching this interview.
Is it
So yeah, I know. I don't,
mad skills?
yeah,
Okay.
I don't understand what it means, but anyways, he wanted to
I mean,
do this.
that to me sounds like hill friendly.
I don't know. It just makes me think of Skittles. Makes me hungry.
Mad skills.
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 Yeah.
Jaw ache. Yeah.
So yeah, a
But
bit of
yeah.
a strange one, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't
But
know
he
where.
doesn't do that on the pitch now.
Who? Sorry.
Sancho doesn't do that on a pitch now. He's very direct.
He does. He's a
He
pretty
gets
tricky
the
little
ball
player.
back.
Yeah, I know he's not
He is.
show pony esque, but
Yeah. But he
it's good
gets
coaching.
it. He'll do a trick. He'll be a man and he'll cut it back.
Yeah.
Or whip a cross in, or he'll be through. Hudson-Odoi will beat someone, then go back to beat them again, and then try something different on them
Yeah.
before trying to hit a shot from a ridiculous angle.
Yeah.
And it's come off a couple of times, and he's looked really good a few times. But I think
Said but
that
again.
needs to be coached out of him. I said, but honest, because I like but. That's gone wrong. Yeah. So Hudson-Odoi. I don't think he fits into. I don't think he fits into the setup and the ethic of how Lampard wants them to play.
Yeah.
He started to. Pulisic wasn't performing to start with, and he was still getting games ahead of Hudson-Odoi and Willian on the other side because they both offered more of a work ethic, more of a direct impact. The person that the guy I feel sorry for potentially, especially with Ziyech in there as well, is Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
The funny
I
he
think
popped up on the
he is
index, and I was like, damn.
Quality
Yeah.
quality player. Whenever I've seen him, he looks fantastic.
He just seems to be getting better and better as well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Every time you see him, or we did see him.
Injured.
Yeah.
Yeah. Injured, and he looks like he's going to be the one. I can see Jorginho going.
You think?
I don't think he's dynamic enough for what Lampard wants. You've got Kante there. I genuinely think you'll see Kante and Ziyech as the two centre midfielders next season.
Or Ziyech and Mount, maybe? Or
No,
Kante and Mount?
I think it will be Kante and Ziyech if they sign Werner.
Interesting. Kovacic, yeah. Did they made Kovacic's loan deal permanent, didn't they? He's quality,
did.
man. He is quality. I like him. I think he is a quality player.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he will be. He could be the one that means Ziyech plays further forward. Kovacic could then sit with Kante, and then they would have Ziyech a bit further forward, which then means Mount is the one who misses out.
Yeah, I still think
It'll
that Mount,
be interesting because
I could see Mount coming back and playing in centre midfield. I can see that more than maybe Ziyech, personally. But
it'll be interesting to see because you look at it and say that Lampard last season he done great to bring in all these youngsters at Chelsea, and he's done this and he's done that, but genuinely looks like a lot of them could be very quickly parked out as well. Hudson-Odoi marginalised. Mount could be marginalised. Barkley marginalised.
Yeah, forget about Barkley.
All it's going to take is for them to, yeah, all it's going to take is for them to sign a centre forward, and Tammy Abraham's pushed out as well.
Yeah, it'd be a shame. I mean, it'd be great to see a clutch of
It will
young,
be.
of English players all playing together. I mean, it's what we want as obviously English English people and English fans of football. Is we want to see English players all playing
Yeah.
together, so it benefits the national side.
Yes.
But what's the odds that's going to
Yeah.
happen?
Well, the next step will be interesting to see how they then pan out after the Brexit setup
Yeah,
with e nationals and things like that. So
yeah,
these guys are going to be immune to it because they'll already be here, and I think you'll see clubs making a flurry of signings from abroad shores this summer to
yeah,
get those guys in, because once they're here, they can move between clubs over here and they don't have to worry about the work permit rules.
yeah.
But again, but it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see.
It'll be interesting to see. Be interesting to see. Okay, so I mean, I think there's. I mean, this is a debate. I think we could talk about every stream that we do for the whole stream is how and what each team
Yeah,
is going to line up. I think the Werner news is significant news in the respects that it's gonna trigger a bit of a bun fight for Timo. I don't think
yeah,
I think this is just the beginning of the saga.
yeah,
But then again, has he been wooed by Chelsea already? Is Chelsea his choice? Has he been talking to Christian Pulisic? Who knows? Who knows what's going on behind the scenes? But it sounds pretty
yeah.
positive from a Chelsea fan's point of view that they've made their move for one of the hottest bits of property in European football currently. Um,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
let's
and
let's see.
I think from that point of view, just to finish off on that as well, I think with the thing that you won't see from Werner going to Chelsea
Mm.
is a sudden transfer merry-go-round,
Yeah,
because
true.
him going to Chelsea won't then mean people were leaving Chelsea to go elsewhere, and it frees up that space. I think him
Yeah.
going to Chelsea doesn't do any of that
No, as you
because
say,
they've not got any, they won't have the people to offload.
yeah, it maybe as you say, Willian, who the general consensus is he's already said his goodbye, so so
Yeah,
Werner, you could say technically he's going to replace him, but it doesn't, as you
but he
say,
was
it
already
doesn't
going
create a
before the
domino
Werner
effect,
talk
does it?
was there. So
Yeah, it doesn't create a
no,
domino effect.
no, which is
It's
unusual.
very unusual. Yeah, because we've seen it time and time again where one player has to go somewhere for the other player to go elsewhere, and it creates a bit of a, as you say, a bit of a merry-go-round. So, yeah, good shout on that one. Once again, just do a bit of gardening. I saw George's name pop up, and George, I have some news for you. The shirt has been ordered. You know what shirt?
Which one? No. But
Fuck off, Neil.
which kit? Have you got a Man U one?
Yeah, yeah. So I
I'm all
ordered the
gutted.
shirt. I found one that it said it'd be here this week, but I got an email yesterday saying it's going to be Thursday next week. That's the estimated
Coming with
delivery.
Hermes then.
Yeah, so maybe they're going to lose it, and then I will never see it again. Boo hoo 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 hoo.
They won't deliver it because it's damaged, but they won't tell you.
Or maybe I'll get the beer and you get the shirt.
Arseholes.
That'd work for me. Yeah, like that. But no, George, just to let you know, the
That
shirt has been
The,
ordered.
the shirt won't fit me.
The beer will fit me though.
That'll be my that'll be my Under Armour.
Be a sock for you, mate.
Where is a willy warmer?
He wear it as a girdle or something, yeah. Actually, probably, to be fair, it's probably gonna be a girdle on me, mate. So I don't know why I'm taking the piss. I ordered a small, and I thought, I don't know.
Optimistic. Is
Yeah,
the small cheaper?
it was the only one I could find. Like all the mediums, they were just shitty, horrible shirts. So I thought, oh no, I got to get like a half decent one. There was a really nice. It was one of the Juve kits, the fast web ones. There's a fast web Juve kit, and I was like,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
The biggest problem was it was about 50 quid, and all the lettering had faded on the back. I was like, no, I ain't wearing that shit. If I'm gonna do it, I'll do it properly.
Yeah, I was going to say. You want to sit there and pick the lettering off after, not
Yeah,
let it
he's like,
fade.
I want to enjoy that shit. I'm gonna go rolling around in the mud after my stream. But
Oh, yeah. Oh, I've
oh,
accidentally ironed it off.
oh, exactly. Yeah, I was ironing it, and it fell on the barbecue. Plus, um, but yeah, George, I thought I'd let you know that the shirt has been ordered, mate. I'm following through with my end of the deal, my friend. After you very graciously and kindly donated 2,000 bits on Monday's stream. So if everyone actually could quickly say thank you, George, for donating 2,000 bits, because he deserves a big thank you from everyone.
Good work,
Okay.
George. We look forward to the shirt.
Yeah, you bastard. So the big moving on to the headline act of today's stream, which is our down the local fantasy Champions League final. We are the
Yes.
champions. There we go. You got the theme music.
Well done.
So
That was
Neil, just to
beautiful.
remind everyone who may not have been here for the semi-final stream, which teams have
Yes.
made it into our down the local FC Champions League final?
So the semi-final stream was. So this is all being done on the coach mode on Football Manager. Not Football Manager. That's a lie. That is a coaching game. On Pro Evolution Soccer. So put onto coach mode. The two best teams selected that are from the available players, and they head off in a two-legged fixture. So in the first round of the semi-finals, Man City lost 1-0 at home to Atletico Madrid to a 35th minute Morata penalty. But in the second leg, won 2-1 away at Atletico Madrid, thanks to De Bruyne, 19th minute goal, and an 87th minute winner from Sterling to put them through on away goals.
Incredible.
In the second, Bayern Munich drew their home game 1-1 with Barcelona. Coutinho and Suarez the scorers, and in the second leg at Barca, it finished 0-0 with Barca going through on away goals. So four really tight games. Both teams going through to the final, but the final was a Manchester City versus a Barcelona.
So needless to say, if that was for real, there's no way in hell you'd be catching me watching that game.
Yeah, you would. It's a Champions League final and it'd be on in the pub. You'd be there.
Don't
give me
no.
Horseshit.
I'd
You'd be in the pub, you'd be playing pool.
I'd rather watch horse shit fall out of a horse's ass than watch that final.
We'd be there
Period.
just to ridicule Sergio Busquets, mate.
Nah, fucking watch that prick. Fucking
Exactly.
dickhead.
I'd be there throwing my crisps now with pint note. Trying to think of what I'd throw at him. Nothing.
What's worth throwing at him? Yeah, throw horse shit.
Bullshit. Yeah.
What do you? I'll throw biscuits at him.
Gloves.
I'll throw biscuits at him. That'd be funny, wouldn't it? No. Biscuits for biscuits. No.
It'd have to be shit biscuits, though, because I wouldn't want to waste them, man. No,
it'd be a box of those broken ones, mate. You know, they're real shitty biscuits, aren't they?
No, because they got some really good ones in there as well. Like,
Yeah, I know, but they've all been
nice
like
biscuits.
seeded over by all the other biscuits. They're shitty biscuits now, and they're usually a bit stale, a bit soft.
Yeah. It's good for my teeth, mate.
Oh, okay.
Getting old, ain't I? I
Yeah.
broke my teeth on a biscuit.
Oh, you said
Broke
it,
a
not
tooth
me.
on a carrot once, on a raw carrot, mate.
What biscuits would
Broke my
you
teeth
throw
on a
at
raw
biscuits
carrot.
then?
Don't want to be done on. Either milkmaids or the old, is it nice or nice ones? Yeah, they're
Rich
crap.
teas? They make like a good little frisbee, wouldn't they?
They would, yeah. You'd probably have his head off, to be fair. Nibble the edge, mate. Sharpen that up.
Be like Odd Job.
Basically, any biscuit that lasts more than 2 seconds in a cup of coffee.
No, but you're talking about hobnobs, mate. I wouldn't throw a hobnob at him,
most
mate.
Biscuits
No fucking way.
I'd take his head off, mate. It'd be like Odd Job Hobnob.
Yeah. Odd Hob. Yeah. Odd Job.
Amazing.
Yeah, Odd Hob.
Odd Hob. Yeah, Hob Job.
Yeah,
Hob Job.
A Hob Job. There we go. Who throws a shoe?
Brilliant.
Who
throws a biscuit? There we go. Job done.
Yeah, nice. Anyways, so it's Manchester City faces off against Barcelona in our down the local Fantasy Champions League final. It has been
Yes.
dubbed by your good self, Neil, as the Pep Derby. I quite liked that little tagline.
Yep.
You know how boxing kind of has its little
Yep.
taglines. This would be the Pep Derby. So,
Yep.
um, Clash of the Peps.
Return
So,
of the Pep.
yeah.
Yep.
Um, could you just quickly run us through? So you run the simulator through Pro Evolution Soccer just the same as you done with the semi-finals. Could you kindly just
Yep.
garnish us with the starting lineups?
So the starting lineups were Manchester City starting lineup was. So this was done. I put the setting on so that all players within each team had the full fitness. I then picked the teams in the formation they are set up on, but with the strongest player in each position that was available. So Manchester City's team is Edison in goal, Walker at right back, Mendy at left back with Laporte and Stones in the centre. Fernandinho as a defensive midfielder with Kevin De Bruyne and David Silva as the attacking midfielders, with Raheem Sterling on the left, Bernardo Silva on the right, and Sergio Aguero through the middle. The Barcelona team with Ter Stegen in goal, Nelson Semedo at right back, and Jordi Alba at left back, with Gerard Piqué and Longley at centre back, with Sergio Busquets as a
Prick, prick,
defensive
prick, prick,
midfielder,
prick. Sorry.
with Frankie de Jong and Ivan Rakitic as the two centre midfielders, with Messi on the right hand side, Griezmann on the left hand side, both as support strikers, and Suarez through the middle.
Okay. So when you gave me those lineups, obviously there was controversy at first. John Stones starting in a Champions League final. I appreciate obviously this is the basis of the game, but I want to kind of look at this slightly realistic in some respects and have our kind of quote unquote quick build up into the game. What benefits would there be to playing John Stones at centre back? Because I think it's
None.
it's been quite evident. Okay, yeah, moving on.
If you're going into a Champions League final, you want against Messi, Griezmann, and Suarez, you want someone who can defend.
Yeah.
John Stones is a very good footballer and he's a very good ball playing defender. His defensive skills are not necessarily the best.
Hmm.
Uh,
I'd give you
I
that.
mean, don't get me wrong, Otamendi isn't much better, but he is a more defensive defender,
Yep.
and I think he would probably be in there instead of Stones. I think you'd probably see Otamendi and Laporte as your two centre backs,
Mm.
but Stones has a higher rating on the game, so he gets the pick.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So yeah, I mean, if you was to pick if we, okay, say we was put ourselves in Pep's shoes, would you be picking Fernandinho at centre back or
No,
no? Who'd you be picking at
he's a
centre
good
back?
player, but I don't think I'd probably be picking. See, I would look at if I was Pep and I was actually picking that Man City team, I would want to have faith in John Stones
Hmm. You'd
and
want to.
Laporte. I'd want to have faith in John Stones because he is a better player
Hmm.
than Otamendi.
Yeah.
He is a better player than the other centre backs apart from Laporte. But I think you'd also look at it and you'd say, well, your defenders, how much do you want? John Stones is more likely to lose you the game than Otamendi, I think.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
That lapse,
I'd agree
that
with that.
lapse in judgment. He's also quite likely to potentially win you the game.
Otamendi,
But
yeah,
do you
yeah.
want that one extreme to the other?
Hmm.
Well, no. Stones could
Stones,
potentially win
okay.
you the game, could lose you the game. Do you want that? Do you want those two extremes, or do you want someone who's going to be solid in the middle?
Hmm.
Mendy's got a rashness about him. He also attacks the ball very well, but it's against Suarez. I can't see, yeah, can't see Stones doing it.
Hmm.
So I'd have to go with I'd have to go with Otamendi if I was picking the team.
Hmm. Okay. Um. Yeah, I personally would probably put Fernandino, sorry, at centre back because I think he would do a much better job of dealing with the front three. of Barcelona and allowing the players in front of him to play. Plus, he sort of gives you that option of stepping out from the back as well, which Stones tries to do, often in vain. But
I think
I think that would certainly
I think
be a
had
a tricky one.
Fernandinho, I think had Fernandinho moved to centre back a year or two ago, I think by now he would be a quality centre back. I just think there's elements of his game that I think he feels. You watch him play, and it's almost like he looks like he feels underutilized playing there,
Yeah,
and he's doing it
yeah,
to help out.
yeah,
And then when he sees centre backs on the bench, it's almost like, well, what the hell am I still doing here? I think he's a better defensive midfielder than Rodri. I think
mm,
Rodri's a tidy player, and I think, yeah, he's good for Man City, but I think Fernandinho is significantly better in that position.
yeah. Yeah, no, I'd agree. I just think with Rodri,
Break up.
you'd have I don't know, you'd have a much better defensive solidarity against one of the best front three in the world currently, and yeah, I don't know. It just once again just an opinion. I just think that playing John Stones there would like we all do would be a calamity. So
Oh God, yeah.
yeah,
I think
um,
Fernandinho gives you more defensive coverage in a midfield position than Rodri though. So
true.
when someone drops in, Fernandinho is more switched on to pick up. Rodri's going to be a little bit higher up the pitch, and equally Fernandinho. I mean, irrelevant who's playing behind him,
Mm,
whether it's Otamendi or Stones. Fernandinho, if you're getting that more defensive coverage in front of you, less chance of it getting cocked up by one of them two.
yeah, yeah, true. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he can screen that off, isn't
So
he? So, um,
exactly, exactly.
George, I would play Walker and Laporte at centre back with Cancelo right back, Mendy or Zinchenko left back. Um, João Cancelo's a liability
Walker,
at best.
Walker,
Kyle Walker is a bit of a liability at
Walker
best.
is set
Um,
as centre back. He's a proper liability.
yeah, so
Played there in the World Cup,
okay,
did in a three, and he looked lost after the time.
it's because he is lost. Okay, is it
Yeah,
fair to say that Manchester City's
yeah.
weakness would be their defence?
Oh yeah, but then equally, Barcelona's weakness was their defence when Pep was there.
Mm. Yeah. Okay. No. So I just
They had
going into this game. So I mean, and then to look at the Barcelona side, is it fair to say that their defense is better than Man City's? Once
yeah,
again, not
I would say so. I
looking at it
think
on paper, but looking at it as the players which have been picked. Would you rather line up with the Barcelona defense or the Manchester City defense?
oh god, yeah, oh god, yeah. I'm not looking at the players, but just looking at the clubs. Yeah, I mean, you've got
Mm.
three centre backs there in PK, Longley, and Umtiti,
Mm.
who are better. Laporte is the only one that stands along amongst those.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
three of
Agreed.
those are better than every other Man City defender.
Yeah. Agreed.
I would say, between João Cancelo, uh, Kyle Walker, and Nelson Semedo, much of a much.
Yep.
They're all great going forward. They're
Mhm.
all a little bit ropey defensively.
Mhm.
And remind me, what's better? What's Mendy's first name?
Benjamin. Oh, Benno.
Benjamin. I knew it began with a B. Oh,
Yeah.
Benny.
Yeah.
Benny Mendy.
Benno.
Um, yeah, Benjamin Mendy uh, is a better left back than Zinchenko. Zinchenko's not a left back, but he's fielded and done well there. But
Yep.
Jordi Alba is one of the best left backs in the world. So
Yeah, I was gonna say for
again, it's
me,
not really a
Alba would be
competition.
my pick out of the two. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Okay, so looking forward, Neil, who do you think could going into this
goalkeeper,
game be the
sorry, a typo.
very tight? I'd go with Edison
Edison
personally.
or
I think
Ter
Edison's a
Stegen.
better
Yeah, I
keeper.
would probably go with Edison. Yeah,
Not
than
for
Ter
his
Stegen.
distribution,
I
and
think Ter
also I think his shot
Stegen is.
same's better.
Do you? Oh, I would have
Mm,
said as an out and out old school goalkeeper, Ter Stegen's probably better. But as a
mm,
goalkeeper nowadays,
yeah,
you'd have Edison.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Totally agree. Totally agree. So, as I say, moving further up the pitch, who likely would be
what
your
looks
biggest?
lonely.
Come again?
I just read what live put. You feel sorry for Laporte. He looks lonely.
Yeah, yeah. I
Kind
feel
of
sorry for the
left
poor
all on
bastard
his
now.
own sometimes.
Can you imagine
It's
lining
one of
up
those
and
where you get in.
yeah, looking around and seeing you got John Stones or Nicholas Otamendi stood next to you? You think, oh fucking hell, I'm gonna have a long game,
It's one
long
of
day
those,
today.
isn't it? You're 1-0 up with 5 minutes left, and you pull up injured, and you look around and you go, I'll push through.
Yeah,
I'll
I'll
be
be right.
fine.
Yeah.
I'll hobble for the last 5 minutes. I can't be any worse.
Merrick, he got a broken leg. I don't care.
But
Um,
yes, yeah. So
moving
moving
further up
on,
the pitch, who do you
midfield.
think is going to be a big influence in this game? I think the midfield is always where the battle is lost and won, in my opinion. Who
Yeah.
would you call out as being the key performers who could potentially pull the tie in the favour of their team?
Looking at the Barcelona midfield, on the game especially, the
Mm.
ratings aren't as high as the Man City ones.
Hmm. Okay.
But I would say, as a midfield three, it's a better midfield three.
Okay.
Even though it's Biscuits,
Excuse me.
I think for what each player offers,
Yeah.
Biscuits does that sit, but you've got that dynamism and
Mm.
decent footballers. Rakitic and De Jong are both good footballers,
Yeah.
but it's that dynamism of getting up and down, working and covering the ground. They both put in the tackles. They both will carry the ball. They'll both play passes. They
Yeah.
can switch it. They can keep it nice and neat and tidy. It's a bit more expansive.
Yeah.
I think Fernandinho, great holding midfielder, but obviously doesn't go anywhere.
Mm.
Will just sit a bit Busquets style.
Yeah. Very similar in that respect.
David Silva is far more. Yeah, David Silva's far more attacking.
Hmm.
Won't put his boot in.
Hmm.
And De Bruyne kind of does a little bit, but you know where his game is at. It's all about that spreading of the play. I think for in real life, I think Man City are more balanced when they would have someone like Gundogan in there
Yeah. Agreed.
instead of David Silva.
Agreed.
But unfortunately, on the game, David Silva has a higher rating. But I think
Mm.
Gundogan, I think he gets a lot of bad press. I think he's significantly better than people give him credit for,
Ilkay
and he
Gundogan.
does
I
a
think.
lot of that little dirty work.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
going to say he is probably well by far and away I think Manchester City's most underrated player. If you were talking
yeah,
about the best midfield, I know everyone talks about Liverpool's front three, and I'd agree that they're the best in the league at the moment, best in class. But if you was to talk about midfield threes,
yeah,
Fernandinho with De Bruyne and Gundogan ahead of him is the best in
yeah,
class when it comes to midfield threes, in my opinion.
yeah,
Gundogan doesn't get
definitely.
nowhere near enough credit for the fantastic footballer
No,
he is and what he does for his teammates. Fernandinho is just a phenomenon in that position. I think Kante is the only one that could get close to him in the league, in the Premier League, and
yeah,
arguably in Europe, arguably.
yeah,
And
yeah,
for me, De Bruyne at this moment in time is certainly in the top three best footballers in Europe, if not the world.
yes, yeah,
So
yeah,
for me,
definitely.
going into this game to look at that midfield battle, can Busquets nullify De Bruyne? No. Can Rakitic and De Jong get much change out of Fernandinho? No. I would suggest
I
that
think
tactically the advantage would be with Manchester City.
I think if Man City would dominate the ball, then yes, but
So
they
that
would
George,
have
take
to
care,
be
mate.
able to dominate the ball. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool. Cheers,
yeah.
George. See you
Thank you,
later.
George, mate. Thanks for sticking around, buddy.
Yes.
Obviously the results for this will end up on the Facebook, mate. So if you
Yeah.
we're hoping to stick around to find out who has won the down the local fantasy Champions League final. Pressure's on. Right, the front three.
Yes.
Who could win us the game here, Neil?
Oh, how'd you pick?
So many
I
players,
think
haven't
the
we?
hardest bit with with the Man City one, the hardest bit is there's minimal difference between, apart from Aguero being the standout centre forward,
Yep.
the the rating difference between Sterling, Bernardo Silva, Mahrez, and Sane
Mm.
is minimal.
Yep.
I think Sterling is rated at 89 and Mahrez is at 86, and they're the two. They're the top and bottom of the list.
Wow. Incredible.
So
Yeah,
you've got four
incredibly
players.
tight.
Yeah, four players in there. Yeah.
Incredibly tight.
So it's, and I think it's one of those where you look at that Barca three going forward,
Mm.
and every one of those could go to a team and score 30 goals a season.
Yeah. Agreed.
And I think that's the difference between that forward line. and the Man City one.
Arguably up against a bit of a questionable defence as well, with the John Stones selection as well,
Yes.
which we would probably fear for. That could certainly be
Yeah.
the piece of yarn which unknits the Manchester City side, coming up against such clever players in Griezmann, Lionel Messi, and Luis Suarez. So you could argue that Barcelona edge the attacking force in this
I
game.
agree.
But
Yeah.
but having said that, Sergio Aguero could single-handedly win a game for any club in the world, as he has seen time and time again.
Yep.
So there's
Yeah. And I think
yeah.
Semedo and Alba both push on
Mm.
to such an extent that obviously with Messi and Griezmann playing as support strikers, they're a bit narrower.
Mm-hmm.
So that's then picked up. There's a little bit more of a man for man, I think, with the Man City setup, which gives Walker and Mendy that opportunity to push. Whereas Aguero goes up against two centre backs with Sterling and Bernardo Silva trying to find the gaps in behind the fullbacks when they've bombed on. So.
Okay, Neil. So
Edison emergency centre half. Sorry, just seen Laura think.
yeah, I know. Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
it could work.
Great idea. Great
I mean,
idea.
the only drawback from that
could play both
is
positions. I think.
Claudio Bravo goes in goal.
Yeah. I think to be fair, just
So
play.
you basically swap.
Yeah, just play with 10 men, mate. Edison
Yeah, you
is
swapped one for
yeah.
solved one issue and caused another.
They could play Jesus up front instead of Stones, and have Edison as a centre back / goalkeeper. Okay,
Yeah.
Neil. So kickoff arrives. The teams start out. Can you talk us through the game, please?
So the game, it was tight. From what I saw, I was obviously working very hard whilst doing it. Actually, it was at lunchtime, but I was doing other bits and pieces.
Yeah,
but the game was very tight, percentage wise. Have you got the image
I do, yeah.
that I sent, or are we going to do? No,
we'll go through the highlights. We'll go through the game. Yeah.
Yeah. So just so guys know, from the game you can only have the five key highlights saved and shared. So we've got the 5 key highlights here. This will give you an indication of where the game went. It was played on a 10 minutes each half. So equally, you're not going to see stupid amounts of passes and successful passes and things like that because it's on a very short period of time.
Simulation. Yeah.
But so if we go through, guys, so we've got the chances and the goals. So the 4 main chances in the game and the goal in amongst them.
So yeah, we'll just have a quick look at the first chance, which came in the 11th minute.
Yep.
Which is a bit of a deflected shot from Luis Suarez, I believe now.
Yep. So the ball gets played into Suarez. He turns the centre back as expected. I think it's John Stones.
Yeah, 1-2.
And manages to get a shot in, but I think Stones manages to just get his leg across and put a block in.
Is this a 1-2 with is that Rakitic here to play in the little pass in here?
I think it's
Suarez.
I think it's Frankie de Jong.
Number 4. So that goes then goes out for a corner.
There you go. It is Rakitic. Yeah.
Okay. So that was.
So that's the 11th minute.
Yeah.
So that was the first big chance. Next big chance came on the 23rd minute, and again fell to that man Luis Suarez.
Americ Laporte keeping him on side there by the looks of it now.
Well, when you pause it, see now the offside setup on this is really good. But when you pause it, I looked at this a couple of times and thought, surely he's off. Surely there's like a fingernail or a toe off. But he gets through and he makes just enough of a yard of space for himself to be able to take it on his favoured right foot, which is probably not the right option because it narrows down the angle he can hit the ball at. And it's a save from Edison, but it's definitely a missed opportunity from Suarez.
Would you? I think it's very good defending to come back and obviously put him off the shot there. As you can see, Mendy and surprise, surprise, our friend John Stones here bringing up the rear. So, but it's a good save, but it's very much a missed opportunity. I feel for Barcelona there. You can see Suarez there kicking the turf in frustration.
So we move on to the next opportunity,
which comes
which
in
again, surprise, surprise, the 32nd minute. And surprise, surprise.
It's a nice little passing move here
That
from
man
Barca.
again.
And that is a very good chance. That's
and the opportunity opens up this time, and he gains more space to hit it. But it literally bends it, and it is millimeters wide. Edison sort of sprawling across the goal.
Once again, a nice big pocket here to obviously find the ball into, and that's what you don't want to do against Barcelona, is leave a great big pocket to get into your front men. Is that Stones number 5?
Stones is number 5, yes.
Surprise, surprise, calling for offside when he's quite clearly onside. As we can see here, he's actually running in front of Laporte.
Think he was playing centre back pass.
But it is our mate John Stones once again. Oh, surprise, surprise, Kyle Walker and Benjamin Mendy, who's kept him onside, all calling for offside there. So the class clowns really did show up for this game. Nice turn for Luis Suarez to get his shot away.
Auditions for an Arsenal transfer, mate.
Yeah.
Audition for Arsenal transfers. Hands in the air. What's that? We haven't got the ball. Put your hand up, son. Put your hand up.
Okay. So after these,
so we move on to the next
slurry of chances that have come Barcelona's way. We then move on to the next key
Man
moment
City's
in the game.
first shot on target. Yep, Man City's first shot on target in injury time.
So this was in
the first half.
So this was their first shot on target, and it came in injury time in the first half.
It was. Yeah.
Okay, so we see here. Still give and go.
So the ball's into Aguero. He rolls it out
to Silva. And we have our first goal of the Fantasy Champions League final. We'll just take it back to the beginning.
So it comes in initially to Aguero, and Aguero holds the ball up, plays it in, and then you watch his movement. So he's being marked. I can't remember whether it's Lule or PK, but he then, like we were saying a couple of weeks ago, actually watching Aguero in real life, he then takes 5-6 steps away from the defender. So when it comes up, he's facing the goal.
So yeah,
he gives him that opportunity.
Here,
you see all, you see all the chances that Suarez has had. And Suarez has had to take a touch to turn himself to hit a shot in the game. Aguero's taken steps back, so when the ball comes to him, he's facing goal straight away and unleashes a thunderbolt. Absolutely rockets in.
If there's one thing I want to criticise about this goal, Neil,
is it biscuits?
No, it's by far and away the celebration is shit.
Oh yeah,
that's all I've got to say really. Great goal.
So celebrations sometimes are quite good, sometimes they're shit.
Yeah, that was shit. Scoring a Champions League final.
Actually, I think on the game they actually have copied the celebrations of the players on a regular basis.
Okay.
So that's his goal again. It's the same celebration if he scores against Burnley or if he scores against Barcelona in the Champions League final, mate.
Disappointing.
And he doesn't go to Burnley on a wet Wednesday night.
Yeah, he definitely wouldn't. That's for sure. Obviously, it's half time. A horrible time to concede a goal is right before half time, isn't it?
Yes,
the teams emerge and we move out.
It's never good.
Come.
There is changes. There were changes at half time as well, substitutions. So let me just get that image. So the substitution at half time was there was a slight formation change for Barcelona. So they went from 2 support strikers to Messi pushed wider. Okay. And they took off Griezmann and brought on Ousmane Dembele.
Right.
And went with 2 wingers.
Right.
So
interesting.
That occurred. And then before this next chance, there was a change for Man City, which was Gundogan came on for David Silva in the 72nd. Next chance, and then that change. So yeah, sorry.
So they made that change. Yeah. After let's have a look at that next chance, which came in the 70th minute. And surprise, surprise for Barcelona, it's Luis Suarez again.
And supplied by them initially from Dembele, held the ball up, played it inside to Messi, who definitely not playing as a right winger. Semedo.
Yeah.
Semedo's gone down the wing and cut it back to Messi, who is playing as a right winger. And chipped in. And an overhead kick from Luis Suarez just over the top.
It's an acrobatic chance.
It is, and it's very similar when you watch it. It's
Cool.
very
Kick the
similar
top
to
of the
the
bar.
Emre Can goal yeah, very similar to the Emre Can chance we saw in
Mm.
the goals the other day,
Yeah.
where the ball's come into him and he's kind of had to readjust his body because he knows he can't do anything else with it
Mm.
to
He's just
catch
tried
the
to hook
volley
it
before
on
the
onto goal,
defender
hasn't he?
gets to it. Yeah, yeah.
Cool. Okay. Neil, how does the rest of the game play out for that,
So
that last half an hour or so? Well,
it then
second half.
becomes a little bit stop start. I mean, there was um, one more chance for Barcelona, which was another chance for Suarez, who had a header from a corner and he headed it wide.
Right.
And there was one from another corner, which was Rakitic, which was headed over.
Mm.
Um, you then saw a number of changes, which were, as I said a second ago, Gundogan came on for David Silva in the 72nd minute, obviously to tighten it up a little bit. And Mahrez and Leroy Sane came on for Bernardo Silva and Raheem Sterling, just to give him sort of fresh legs out wide, give that a little bit more coverage. And that was in the 82nd minute. And in the 83rd minute, Barca made a change and took off Busquets and brought on Vidal. So obviously to
Oh,
try and
okay.
push themselves further forward
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the chance of getting a goal.
Yeah.
But
More
in
aggressive move.
doing that, um, Man City scored again,
Hmm.
although it was ruled offside, and that was in the 92nd minute. A shot came in, was parried, and Sane was offside for the
Right.
tapping.
Oh, okay. Right. Right.
He
Right.
wasn't offside for the tapping; he was offside from the original shot.
Oh, I
But
see.
yeah, but that was tapped in, and then pulled back for
Right.
that. So, um, and then the game finished. But I think when you looking at the stats,
Hmm.
so you've got the stats picture for a
I'll
sec,
bring
haven't
them
you?
up in a moment for you. Yep. We'll just find
Man
them.
City had more of the ball marginally,
Mm.
but shots and things like that were dominated by Barcelona.
Yeah.
Barcelona had 8 shots and 4 on target, and Man
Mm.
City's 5 and 2 on target. And when we bear in mind of the 2 shots, one of them went in from Aguero, and the other one was saved by ter Stegen
Mm.
for Sane to then tap in the rebound and be offside.
Yeah.
So actually, if he'd managed to keep himself onside, Man City's 2 shots would have been their 2 shots would have resulted in 2 goals.
Mm.
Um, but to only have 5 shots was
Yeah.
very
It's
bizarre. There
very
wasn't
bizarre.
many, not yeah, exactly, shots wide and high and things like that. But you look at the shots on target, and Luis Suarez had 5 of their 8 shots,
Yeah.
and Edison made one save
Mm.
from him.
Yeah.
You know,
It,
that's where it's all gone wrong.
yeah. Slightly toothless front line there, obviously. But I mean, the stats really across the board
Yeah,
are pretty much equal, aren't they? Really, as you say, the shots on target,
it's
possessions 50-50,
yeah,
fouls and offsides are much of a muchness. Barcelona obviously having more in the way of corner kicks, but it just seems as though they were able to get the ball in that final third, but they weren't able to execute any kind of finish.
yeah, yeah. And you look at the passes and successful passes. I know it's only sort of a difference of 10, 15, but then over a 10-minute period, if you then extend that over a whole game, it becomes a significant gap.
Exactly. Yeah.
But Barcelona's 139 passes, 117 successful
Mm.
to the 122, 106 successful. It's about where you use it.
Yeah.
They've got less possession. Champions League, has he got
There we go.
anything to stick around for? Would he
Yeah.
say he hasn't succeeded if he doesn't win the double?
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, it's already been
I don't
said
think.
that he would be he'd be classed as a failure if he was not to win the Champions League. So once he's won that, is he really going to want to stick around?
Yeah, yeah,
That's the thing, I suppose. But
and it's that's going to be the debate going forward, isn't it? So does he? Who deems him a failure, and who does he listen to?
yeah,
If it's yeah, it. I don't know. I don't know. It's a really tricky one. He hasn't shown loyalty, I suppose, to an extent,
who Guardiola?
to any club he's been at. Yeah,
No.
he sticks around. He does 3 years, and he does a bump.
Yeah.
He done 4 years at Barca. He had a year off. He done 3 years at Bayern. Had a year off. He's now in his fourth year at Man City.
Fourth. I think fourth. I think.
Yeah. So if he wins the championship, so they didn't win, and they romped the first half of the season. The first year he was there, didn't they?
Yeah.
And then fell apart and finished third. Second season they won it. Third season they won it. This season they're not going to win it.
No.
But they might win the Champions League. And he walks away and says, "Do you know what? I've done everything I can. See you later."
Thank you for the 25 bits. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Okay, well, despite the rocky ending there, which I sincerely apologise, my PC decided to log itself out. I was trying to exit the picture which we showed you, and then it just signed itself out. So I'm really sorry about that, guys. Really, really sorry. So Neil, what are we going to do? I want to send Manchester City a trophy to say congratulations on winning the Champions League. Winning their very first Champions League.
On the down the local.
Yeah, down the local Champions League trophy. So I think we're going to have to. If anyone if anyone's on Discord, if anyone's not on Discord, if you come join my server, we'll pick out a lovely trophy for Manchester City on behalf of myself.
We're going to
and
get
Neil.
him a proper trophy.
Yeah, we'll get.
There must be like a copy imitation Champions League trophy, even if it's an inflatable one.
Yeah,
we could send them an inflatable one and then get them to blow it up.
I mean, we can't engrave it, can we? That's the only thing.
No, exactly. Well,
I don't know. I could get a tattoo machine.
Engrave it.
Ain't gonna work.
Just write it on in pen.
Maybe. Okay, let's have a quick look. Champions League trophy. Let's see if we can
could
find.
send it to Robbie Savage and get him to utilise that hot air, and then get him to forward it onto him.
I wouldn't give him anything, mate. That prick.
While you're having a look there, I would like to point out as well to people that I found it vastly entertaining. And it was highlighted to me by Coop earlier on down Facebook, and I thought it was brilliant. That obviously we all know the Bundesliga in Germany has restarted. We all know that the Premier League is back in a couple of weeks. But the Portuguese league resumed last night.
It has.
And the first goal scorer of the Portuguese league resuming for Porto was Jesus Corona.
Hey.
So it must be God's will. It must be God's will. His son of Corona, my son of Corona, scored the opening goal on the return. What a legend. Jesus Corona. Remember the name. And the year and the drawbacks that he's put in place. You couldn't make it up. You couldn't make it up.
No, that is hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious. Okay, I haven't found. I found a replica Champions League trophy, but it's 300 quid, and Manchester City, unless they're going to refund me, they can stick up their arse. But there is one that looks a little bit like. Let's just go over to there. Probably gonna. Yeah, Tiny Neil again. Let's make Neil a bit bigger.
Hey, little Neil. Oh,
we're not supposed to get little Neil on the streams, Neil.
You don't want to get banned. It's not that kind of show.
No,
It's not that kind of local.
not yet. But as you can see, we've got a lovely trophy here, which it looks like the Champions League trophy, doesn't it? Don't you think?
Yeah,
And for best part
yeah.
of a tenner, I think I could stretch to that. Don't
I
know.
think I also think what we could also do is I'll go and purchase one of those record your own voice cards. So if there's a congratulations one, and then we can record in there the Champions League music.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Oh, I like that.
You just have to make sure we don't get sponsored by Gazprom at the end.
Yeah. Oh no, we'll put that bit in just for authenticity. Yeah.
Yeah. Just for Schalke.
I reckon that we should get them this. No, it's a gold one as well, so it goes with our down the local thing. And what
It does.
I'll have to draw the down the local logo on there just so they know that it's a very special trophy. And I hope that they will, come and join in, in defending their trophy next year.
Can you do a printout? Can you do a
Yeah,
printout of the down the local thing and then just stick it on the front?
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
You are the winners of the
Congratulations.
virtual down the local Sergio Aguero scorer. I'd like to,
Mm.
I'd like to see them put that on their Twitter account, and maybe even just have Sergio posing with it.
If he doesn't,
Your
yeah.
image.
I mean, well, I hope we can get him on the show so we can sit down and talk to him about his goal. Sergio, when you was making that run, were you trying to draw the defenders out so you could get
Yeah,
the shot away? And you know,
yeah. Me and Sean had a big discussion about how much you drop deeper now to pick the ball up and get involved in the game.
yeah,
And in this, you dropped off to pick up the ball to even facing goal to have a shot.
yeah. And then just as we're hanging up, I can go. I'm a Man United fan. You're a prick. Bang, phone down.
Oh no, you can say I'm a Man United fan, but I still love you more than Zlatan.
That's more like it. That's more like it. Okay, so let's see.
In my eyes, you're a bigger Man United legend than Zlatan.
Well, let me put that in there. Fancy Champions League winners. Ah, no longer
I
than
really
30
want.
characters.
I,
Damn. Oh, hang on a minute. Does it? Oh, I could put winner. Can I? No, can't put winner. I could put winner.
what Champions League winner? Oh, did you put down the local
Yeah. So I've got.
Champions League winner? Put DTL Champions League winner.
Yeah, but I've got down the local FC at the top, and then fantasy Champions League winner underneath. Oh no, it's all gone Pete Tong.
Uh, just put DTL instead of down the local.
They can have winner.
I'm gonna abbreviate it to work how I want.
I don't care. I don't care that much. Fucking Manchester. What?
Are we, are we getting a trophy for the best goal ever in the
Yes.
Prem? Sweet. In that case,
Definitely.
guys, I'll buy that one if
Okay.
we work it out perfectly so that Matt Letizia wins.
Okay, guys. As long as you vote for Matt
Because
Letizia, then Neil's going to pay for the trophy. So.
Yeah, and we'll probably get Letizia on the show.
Yeah.
None of those smug bastards from Man City can come on, are they?
Exactly. Yeah. Oh
Far
man.
too good for us. Matt Letizia will do anything for a bacon roll and a pint, mate.
He's a boy. He's a boy. Okay.
He's a legend. He's a legend.
I'm going to get it delivered to the Amazon Hub locker because I might not be home and I don't want to miss out on this. So yeah, I'm ordering. Just put winner 2020. Oh, I didn't put 2020 on it, did I? Oh, they won it forever.
Oh, we're not going to do another Champions League one.
Nah, I don't think COVID's going to come back again next year.
Champions League exactly. Hopefully, we won't have another point in time where Champions League doesn't finish. So we'll be all right. We'll be all right.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
I think we could do a Euros 2020 though, couldn't we?
We could do
You know
Euro
who's in
2020.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Down
we
the
could do
local.
that. That could be our next thing. Who would have won Euro 2020? Obviously, I'll put it into coach mode, do the main tournament, and make sure Jack Grealish is in the England squad.
Like it.
Because it's only right. It's only right.
My mate
Pick the
Cantwell
squads.
out wide.
Yeah. I'll make sure Cantwell's in the Belgian team. Oh no, he'll be in the Wales squad. He'll be in the Wales squad.
No, he can go to the Belgian team. The team that
No,
might actually win it then.
no, he could. He'd have to fight for his place alongside. Bloody cat's molting. Yeah, he'd have to fight for his place
Catch was
alongside
schmolting.
Adnan Januzaj.
Oh, yeah, I know. Oh, okay,
Adnan Januzaj.
hang on a minute. It won't let me deliver to the hub locker. But do you know what the funniest thing is? Is the people who are going to actually make it. They're going to look at it and go, "What a fucking idiot."
Well, hold on. Did you say you want it engraved on the cup itself?
Oh, no, on the little plaque at the bottom.
Yeah, just on the plaque at the bottom. That's cool. I was going
Yeah.
to say because on the cup we want to do a print out of our logo and stick
Yeah.
that on there. Cut it out and stick it on. Super
Oh
glue
yeah.
it.
I ain't
Put it
stupid.
back in this box so it's all ready.
Oh, it's massive as well, Neil. It's huge.
All ready to go.
It's 6 inches, mate. It's huge.
Can you see it? Can you see it from here?
Yeah, I can. It's pretty much like scale size on the screen. It's amazing. Oh,
It'll kneel again.
oh, wow. Okay, guys. Estimated delivery 13th to the 16th of June. So that's ordered, and we're going to send that off to our mate Pep. I'm gonna put a nice little handwritten letter in there. Go, my mate Pep. Congratulations. It's long overdue.
You won the Pep Derby.
Yeah, you won the
I think
Pep
what
Derby.
we'll have to do as well. I think we'll have to include in our letter to them. We'll have to include how we saw it going through and how they got there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just